So I get to follow Jesse and Sue. That's crazy. I'm not quite the presenter that the other two are, but I'm very honored to be part of the panel this morning, and Terry McMullen. Speak briefly about an industry, transportation and logistics, that I've been involved with for 37 years. I always say that I started when I was 8 years old, so that's why I still look so young. But I actually did start my driving career here in Omaha at 17 while I was still in high school, and that was back when you could actually insure a 17-year-old in a commercial vehicle. That's nearly impossible today. When I talk to young folks about getting into transportation and logistics industry, I can speak with experience about the importance of continuing your education beyond high school so that you can pursue some of the higher paying jobs and opportunities in our career pathway. I can also point them to educational providers here in the state that can help them do that, and I'll hopefully point those out to you today as well. Having started as a courier driver while still in high school, I've always felt like I got into my career by chance, not by choice. My parents didn't go to college. They certainly weren't asking me where I was going to attend college either, and I don't think we could afford it at the time. But the funny part is I did register at UNO. That was primarily to impress my high school sweetheart at the time, thinking she'd figure that I had my plan or a plan in place and I was going to straighten up my act. But about that time, that summer, I got a job at Airborne Freight Corporation, so 17 and a half years old, $350 a week, 4 years of college. I took the job. So I also lost the girl, dang it. But, for the next 10 years, I worked my way up in the industry from operations to operations management, from sales to sales management. I did notice, however, that the traditional 4-year college students and graduates were coming out of school and just in 1 or 2 years of experience taking jobs in leadership roles in our industry. And in corporate America, I was working for folks that had a lot less experience, but they were making a lot more money. So it got my attention. Truly, I hit the glass ceiling in San Francisco when I was working for one of the largest global shipping companies, major global shipping companies, and my next potential opportunity from that career path was a regional vice president. Well, guess what? No college degree, no VP. So the craziest part of this little story for me and my career path was after 10 years in the business, I came back to Omaha for our 10-year reunion, connected with that high school sweetheart again, put on the full court press, and within the year we had a baby on the way. We both quit our jobs in California and we moved back to Omaha to open up our own transportation company. So my wife Lori took a little different path. She did get that 1 year at UNO before she went full-time into banking. So our partnership plan had at least a good chance for success. We've been blessed in both our home and our work operation because Lori controls all the money. She gives me an allowance every week. It's never really enough, but I did get that VP job I was talking about. So with the 6-month-old baby, about $5,000 in the bank, we came home to Nebraska to start our business, and I told her it'll be easy, no problem. Well, we did $80 our first month. Woohoo! About the first year, we were $45,000 in debt. We were pretty nervous about where we were going, but after that initial shock and worry, we did settle into some success. And again, we both feel very blessed that we've grown our business, now 3 of them, into a multi-million-dollar operation. We're engaged across almost every facet of the logistics industry, and we have over 40 coworkers. The TLK that you see came from Terry, Lori, and our daughter's named Kirsten. But you won't see it on any business cards because while it is the name of our first Nebraska corporation, we have always operated as an independent agency for a much larger global shipping company, which gives us that network of offices in the U.S. and the reach to over 200 countries worldwide. More importantly, the AIT Worldwide Logistics Link provides our little Nebraska company with the buying power, with very large air cargo, vessel carriers, and also contracts with major trucking companies as well, to compete in price with the biggest and the best. We're able to manage customers as large as Union Pacific Railroad for the last 17 years, Northern Natural Gas, Molex and Lincoln, and we act as their travel agent for boxes. In its simplest forms, that's what we do. It's what our personnel do in the office as well. Our logistics employees, or logisticians, as I like to call myself now, are like basically managing anything from raw material to finished goods in the supply chain and anywhere you go in the world. Pretty exciting stuff. 70% of what we manage in Omaha, Nebraska never touches the state. Could be moving from Oregon to Florida or Hong Kong to France, and we're managing it right here in Omaha, connecting through a computer network with our carriers and our customers as well. all the way door to door. The huge explosion in global trade over the past 10 to 15 years has created job security and tons of job opportunity in the future for our industry for many years to come. I think that first slide that Linda showed, 102,000 jobs in the state, it's certainly, I think it's ranked number 1 or number 2 in our state for job creation, and I think number 3 in the country as well. We also founded our own little Nebraska company. If you could roll back one, Jacob, sorry. We operated TLK Transportation. We opened that in 1995, which is very small in comparison to a company like Werner, but it helps us control our local pickup and delivery of our product. It's called TLK Transportation, and again, Lori got to be the president. So we opened up a new company in 2004 called Cargo Zone, and I finally got to head up a company as president, but Lori still handles the money. So anyway, Cargo Zone falls into the distribution and warehouse side of our industry sector. We have over 250,000 square feet near Epley Airfield in Omaha on 17 acres. We reactivated the Omaha Foreign Trade Zone, and in August of 2006. We can import material into Nebraska, hold it in our duty-free zone, and businesses in Nebraska can take the benefit of holding off and paying their duty to customs until they withdraw the material.
Sorry, when you pulled it down.
Oh. Felt like I was shouting anyway. Anyway, the duty-free zone, we could talk about it a lot, but we reactivated it. What it did for the state and for the city and the local chambers is it showed other states and folks looking into Nebraska for investment and creating jobs here in our state that we're deeply, deeply engaged in international trade in our state already. So we bring folks through tours all the time, work with the DED on that side, and Nebraska's getting a strong look from investment, not just in the U.S., but from overseas as well. We provide export loading projects at Cargo Zone, as well as import product moving in. We also distribute goods throughout the USA that are either imported or made here, right here in Nebraska. Some of our funnest projects at Cargo Zone are the last little link on our website, which shows the convention services side. Since Mecca opened the CenturyLink 10 years ago, we've been involved with major logistics projects there, 2 Olympic swim trials, the equestrian thing. For 11 years, we've been helping Warren Buffett and the Berkshire Hathaway companies, basically bringing all 45 plus Warren Buffett companies into Nebraska, staging it all, getting a week to set it up, a one-day event with 35,000 people, and a day and a half to get it all back out of there. So pretty exciting. So you can see we're deeply involved and very diverse in our services. We need employees of all types in transportation, distribution, warehouse, and logistics. This picture is very descriptive of one of our largest Nebraska advantages in transportation and logistics. We sit right in the middle of it all. And this map is used by our good friends at the Nebraska Department of Economic Development to promote, and also other areas of chambers of commerce, to create additional investment and more jobs in our state. We're having a phenomenal success with that effort, being right on I-80, which runs from San Francisco to Boston, and right in the middle of the north-south routes for 2 of our United States' largest international trading partners, Canada and Mexico. It's also pretty sweet. Having worked around the United States myself, settling back here in Omaha, it also provided me with some experience with coworkers in different parts of the country. I think we have one of our strongest advantages here is our work ethic, even with our young kids that we sometimes complain about now. For Lori and I, our workforce is extremely experienced and hardworking, which has been our biggest reason for success. Other advantages in Nebraska, we have 2 of the top 10 motor carriers. Believe it or not, we have over 13,500 licensed motor carriers, better known as trucking companies, located right here in Nebraska. If they're as big as Werner Trucking, who has 1,400 employees, 7,300 trucks, and a staggering 24,000 trailers, with 11,000 drivers and owner-operators managing that equipment. If you compare that to my whopping 4 trucks and a few trailers, I feel pretty tiny. We have in the state over 1 million trucks licensed in the state. I think we're number 2 in the United States for that. We have the Union Pacific Railroad headquarters here, and over 200 full unit trains, which are 100 cars long, travel and traverse our state every single day. I didn't know that one until about a year ago. We have world-class logistics companies, TLK. More importantly, we have public-private partnerships working to develop our future workforce and feed this growth, like the Nebraska Trucking Association. As you can imagine, with 13,500 trucking companies, they have a vast lobby, lots of money going into education and doing the right thing. Nebraska Logistics Council, public-private partnership, not only carriers, but also shippers and receivers. Midwest International Trade Association. All these organizations are working together to create jobs and actually attract the new workforce as well, along with the DED and the local chambers. So what do these jobs pay? On the transportation side, it's not just the drivers who can earn as much as $15 to $20 an hour in a starting wage area with no degree, or the senior drivers that can handle long-haul loads making from $45,000 to $80,000 per year. And that's true. There's also a huge demand for people to work on those trucks and other equipment to keep them rolling, and diesel technicians and mechanics, along with certified technicians, make $45,000 to $75,000 a year as well. Drivers can get certified in an 8-week program at MCC for $1,000. And a little road experience will carry you up very, very quickly into that next tier. There are some wonderful associate's degrees, 2-year programs for repair folks at MCC and other community colleges already involved across the state as well. Basic warehouse jobs starting at $10 to $15 an hour. I know that's not meaningful employment, certainly wouldn't be, but you can quickly, with 2 to 3 years experience, get into that $30,000 to $75,000 in annual salary if you take a leadership role. And we've got a couple of young folks that work for us. We're going to MCC while they were in school. They work for us part-time on the dock. They're now making over $50,000 a year. So it is possible. Just got to get after it. Also, distribution center managers and directors of supply chain can reach those higher tiers, $150,000 and up when they're running for the big companies. Jacob. Logistics is really a cross-section of many of those things related to transportation and distribution. I looked it up one time. It's the science of moving people, goods, and material in the most efficient manner. I think our U.S. military invented that term at some point, and there are a very high number of military personnel enrolled on the online classes and master's degree program at Bellevue University today. The funny part about logistics, when you look it up in the dictionary in Webster's, don't Google it, you won't see that, is that it's listed right above logjam, which is what you don't want in your supply chain. So you can get an entry-level position within logistics companies right out of high school. There are now associate's degrees, certifications offered at MCC and other community colleges. UNK, UNL, UNO have degrees in logistics, and Bellevue has that master's degree program. You know, we've been working in Omaha for a while, across the state actually, but that president of the Nebraska Trucking Association, Larry Johnson's a great friend. He always talks about middle school to master's degree. That's a career pathway. We were talking about TDWL, and we almost took the W out of that because a lot of folks don't want to hear about their kids going to a warehouse job, kind of like the manufacturing side, but it doesn't sound sexy, right? But great careers and great opportunity as well. Obviously, Sue talked about it as well, a lot of crossover jobs, accounting, finance, IT. My wife's a finance person, somebody else is IT. We have lots of sales jobs and, again, in the TDL industry sector as well. That last one. I've already mentioned some of the strategic partnerships that are already in place to help grow our industry, but as a business owner here in Nebraska for 23 years, I know we have one of the best economic development offices in the country. They're deeply engaged in finding out what industry needs and how to support us, all the way to the governor's office. We support them with modeling programs on new prospective businesses looking to invest here. We help to market the Nebraska advantages, and we all work together to expand jobs. So they will grow. I think the increased jobs was 113,000 just in TDL on that list by 2012 that Lynn showed. And we provide any support we can to develop and advance our workforce in TDL as well. I've already mentioned most of the educational partners, but there are some wonderful programs already in place. We worked with them a little bit at Bryan High School, South Omaha. Millard's Horizon program, they've got a TDL program as well, all the way out to Cozad, Nebraska. I serve on the foundation board at Metro Community College, so I'm very passionate about the programs they've been developing over the last 10 years and the very affordable opportunities that they provide as well. As I've said before, I got into the industry by chance, not by choice. I greatly appreciate what these partners are doing to demonstrate the opportunities to our future workforce and provide many, many choices. Thank you.